listening to Ready, Set, Go Real Estate Investing Podcast, presented by Brandon Elliott. This show will be going over all aspects of real estate investing and is intended to educate, motivate, and prepare you to take action on your first or next real estate investment. For more information, please visit BrandonElliottInvestments.com. Thank you for listening.
Welcome back, everyone, to Ready, Set, Go Real Estate Investing Podcast. I am your host, Mr. Brandon Elliott. I'm excited today. We got Connecticut in the house. Specifically, Andres. What's up, man? How we doing today?
I'm doing great. I'm very excited to be here and cannot wait to start this.
Dude, one of the things that caught my attention so much, you said $0. $0 for marketing. At this point, you have over 60 units. A majority are from Section 8 and the other half for student housing, which is awesome. I love both of those. I've done both of them. That is incredible. A lot of profits, a lot of sometimes headaches too, depending on how you're managing it, which you do have your own internal rental team. You got a couple employees handling that side of things. So gives you time for what you're also doing is about 3 to 5 flips per month. I mean, that's right. That's full time, baby. That's a good amount. So, but $0. Did I hear that right? $0.
Yeah. In fact, 2025, I spent about $15,000 in between March and October, and I didn't get one deal. So it was like, so 15,000. I hire cold callers. I bought a lot of lists. I had a lot of subscriptions with a lot of, websites that I'm not going to mention here because I don't want any trouble. But the truth is that the quality of leads were okay. And then we worked them. We try to set some appointments. But again, we are such a tight market in Connecticut that by the time that I call, there's already 4 or 5 people talking to the owner. So that was the list was part.
The list was kind of used and abused, right? It's always out there.
Yeah. So might as well just use like PropStream or something like that.
Yeah. So you are in a very competitive market. I think in many areas nationwide, there are some markets like yours that are just very competitive. And so I'm excited to hear more about how you have been able to get your strongest ROI off of real estate deals without using $1 to even begin and get your marketing out there. But there's a couple other highlights that I want to acknowledge and give you your roses for here. I mean, you wrote a book in the past about mindset and taking action, which is awesome, as well as you have a second book coming out in regards to real estate. Excited to hear more about that. You've also owned a tennis academy club in the past, partial owner that you ended up selling that about a year ago, which is incredible. Talk to me, man. Out of all the different things that you've been doing, for anybody out there that doesn't know who you are, where you're from, your background, do you mind just giving that 30,000-foot view of how we got here today?
Yeah. So I'm from Dominican Republic, born and raised. I played tennis since I was, at 9 years old. I go to Puerto Rico because I got a scholarship. And by the time I go to Puerto Rico, I have 3 scholarships in the U.S. and big colleges. One of them was UGA, University of Miami. And it was great. Like I have, all this opportunity, but they don't offer 100%. So I end up in Puerto Rico, which I had 125% scholarship, it doesn't exist today.
Amen. Let's go. Come on.
It's illegal now to give, money to athletes, but I got some allowance every month. So then I come to the US, played professional tennis for 2 years. I did okay. And then I realized that I was losing some money, and in Connecticut it was really hard. That's how I got in Connecticut, because my coach was here. And from there, I started to teach tennis, fell in love, then taught for 5, 6, 7 years, then built my academy in another club. Then I was part owner of another club. And last year, I'm like, let me just go full on in real estate. I have a kid, he's 2.5. I'm like, I cannot be spread so thin. So at that point last year, I had 55 units doing maybe like 1 or 2 flips per month, a 2.5-year-old wife and all that. So I'm like, let me just go full on of all the things that I enjoy. I enjoy teaching tennis, but tennis has been, for whatever, 20 plus years. It was time to go.
Yeah. So what got you involved in tennis? And I'm sure just that work ethic and so forth, there's plenty to go professional in anything, it takes trials, tribulations, it takes work ethic, it takes a lot of discipline that I'm sure you carry over into your everyday life now as well, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, in tennis, the best part in tennis is you lose a point, you can still recover. It's not like basketball. If you're losing by 30, there's no reset button. In tennis, there is. Like you lose the first set, you can come back in the second. So I think there's a lot of tennis is a really, really tough sport, especially if you're playing professionally. And the mindset that I adopted is, in order to be good at one shot in tennis, you need, let's say, 6-7 shots, which is forehand, backhand, serve, volleys, all that. But in order to perfect one, you gotta hit those 10,000, 20,000s the same way, and you still improve. There's never the great thing about tennis is like nobody has a perfect forehand, not even professionals. They're always evolving. So that's a mindset. For me, real estate, it's actually, in a sense, it's easier because I already have that mindset where, like, if I lose here, and there, I'm gonna get up and recover. And the truth is that in tennis, you lose more, especially in professional tennis player. You lose more than what you win. So it doesn't matter. Real estate is the same thing. You lose in one deal, you make in another. So
how did you get into the tennis club? How did you start kind of leading and having some ownership in there?
So I worked for a long time in a tennis club as a director, and it was time to move on. And the owner of the other club said, "Hey, let me make you this offer. I want to bring this club up. I want you to bring all the programs to be successful. I know you're my guy. What would it take?" And basically, we agreed on a price. I put very little out of my own money to build that. And then last year I exited both the ownership and I sold I had a 450 clients.
Like a book of business, basically.
Yeah. So I sold what we call the intellectual value, which is the clients, clientele and all that. Yeah.
Nice. I love that. And what sparked that interest of just getting out of that at the time?
Like selling the business?
Yeah.
I think I knew I couldn't scale it like I'm scaling the real estate. Like I knew that if I want to scale it, I needed to have all people on board. Sure. And at one point they didn't want to invest in infrastructure, they didn't want to invest in programs. So I'm like, there's much I can do,
Yeah. So you're more of a visionary person. You see opportunities, and when you have partners, that was probably something you learned. When you're not in full control, then there's other people trying to hold you back. It's a little bit more difficult.
Yes, 100%. I mean, I do have partners in real estate. I have a great partner now, and I own properties with 2 other partnerships, and it's great. But I learned so much about partnership because I think that people go into, especially real estate, into partnership because it's convenient, but not because it's convenient to own a property with someone because you need the cash or you need that deal to happen. Sure. But the truth is like nobody needs anyone unless that person can add something that you don't have.
Yes.
So
value. Yep.
Yeah. Like create the value. So for example, like if you have the money, Brandon, and I have the knowledge, and then we have the same vision, it's going to be a great partnership. Sure. The problem is that sometimes most of the time people go into partnerships like both
have
broke,
the vision.
Both being broke or both being rich.
Yep.
They don't know anything about real estate. They don't have the knowledge. They don't have the time because they're professionals.
Yep.
And then when one works more than the other, it's just like done.
Yes. No good.
Yeah. So do you have partnerships?
No, I don't. I don't work well with others. I've tried to find out. I've jumped in a couple of deals in the past with other people, and one of them, it was very successful. It was very hands off. He had the money and I had the knowledge. I had the contracts, right? I had the deals and the contacts. So I was able to get him in, and and it worked out. We hung on to a few properties for about 7-8 years. Very hands off, managed everything and handled it.
What happened? Like what?
We decided to sell the properties this past year, 2025. Yeah.
All of them?
Yep.
Okay.
It was just in a market that both of our careers or where we're at in life, we don't need an extra $5,000 a month. We want, the 4 hours that it's costing us per month. It wasn't even really costing us that much, but we just don't want another distraction.
Yeah.
I read the
equity and
I read this book last year. 10x is easier than 2x, and it's basically the 80-20 rule, but it really stood out to me so much of get rid of a lot of distractions and focus on the one thing that's bringing in the most and the most fulfilling, and like let's see how we can put all of our eggs in this basket to see what we can accomplish over here and get rid of some of the distraction.
Yeah. I will suggest to, and this is something that I've been doing. So now I own 60 units, and they're all small multifamily and single families. They're not like the biggest that
residential.
is a bunch of 4 units.
Yep.
Right.
Love it.
And one of the things that I'm doing this year is to see not how much equity I have in each of them.
Yep.
If I can trade them to something bigger, but also what is the return on my time? So for example, I have a team and they're great, but like when I have a building right now that I have like 150,000 in equity, like I can sell it, maybe make after commissions 110, 120, right? So what can I do right now if I sell that business, how much money I can make versus how much time and cash flow, whatever it is, and how much time it's taking to my team and how much headaches. So it's like, if it's
how much are you paying for that cash flow, basically, because you're paying people to handle it. Yep.
Yeah. Like that building, for example, I have a 3 unit in mind where it makes like $600-700 in cash flow. Like I'm very conservative with my numbers. So it's like, I take home $600-700 a month.
Yep.
But it's like every month a problem, every single month. So it's like, is it time to leave or what?
But then you also got to consider when you sell it, then also taxes on it too. So now you got to get creative on different, tax.
I'll probably 1031 into something better.
Yep.
That doesn't have to be bigger, but better. Like better market. Could be a better market. Could be even, I did a few 1031s and I've done 1031s from like a 2-family to another 2-family. But the difference, it's massive because it's a better market, better tenant, bigger apartments. I can have, student rentals where I did a 1031 exchange in 2020 where I made 120,000 and then I exchanged it to a building that it was a 4-bedroom, first floor, 4-bedroom in the second. And I turned it into a student rental. And that thing cash flow is like $2,200 a month. Just out of that 1031, it was turnkey. Yep. So it's like, you don't need bigger buildings. You just need to, better cash flow over exit.
I love it. Before I do want to talk more about real estate and the residential multifamily and so forth. But before that, talk to me about your first book for a second. What encouraged you to write a book? And give me 1 or 2 bullet points in there that you think represents the book well and something that can intrigue the listeners.
Yeah. So it's called Born to Retire Young. It's on Amazon. You can buy it in English and Spanish.
Nice.
Yeah. Basically, that book, I wrote it because I don't think there was a clear tactical roadmap to achieve financial independence.
Come on.
And I think I wrote it from a perspective of somebody that came with $500 to this country. So it's like, so that's one. The second, so the book, it's about mindset. It's obviously real estate. It's more towards rentals. I talk a little bit about flipping there. And I think it's a great book that not only is my goal is not motivate you because that will phase out. My goal is that you take action, that you implement the same thing that is in the book and then just do it. And I think, and I have students and I have people that have reached financial independence in less than 10 years. I mean, it takes time.
Yeah.
But I think it's possible. Definitely. I mean, I did it.
Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't take a lifetime. When you have real strategy, you have real plans, and you're really going after it, you can get incredible results over time, which I love. A lot faster than many people can think. But we live in a day and age that everybody expects like instant success overnight, Instagram model type of thing. And that just, my friend, isn't possible. That doesn't work out.
It doesn't work out. And the people that are, showing the Rolexes and all that and the cars are probably highly in debt.
Yeah.
And like, People don't understand that. I just, I drive the same car. I bought sort of like a more fancy cars 2 years ago, but I spent like 6 years thinking about it. And I'm like, until I don't reach that goal, I'm not going to buy it. You got to be disciplined.
Yeah, that's so good. Okay, talk to me like active real estate versus some passive real estate. You got both. You've been doing real estate for about 10 years now as well. What got you interested in real estate to start off with, number one? But number two, can you explain a little bit of the differences between the active versus more passive and why you have a combination of both?
What got me in real estate, it was two things. First of all, being broke.
Yeah.
And second of all, being burned out from my tennis. I was teaching 60 hours a week. So one Friday night, I come home and I'm like, what is the American dream that people talk about? Like, what is it? And I Google it. How can you retire early? 3 things came up: real estate, stocks, and businesses. I'm like, stocks, not a big fan. Businesses is something that I will do eventually. And then real estate. I bought a course, shouldn't have bought it, 22 grand. Didn't have it. Credit card smacks. You can't imagine that mess. They didn't taught me anything. And then I just started, buying 1 a year, 2 a year, then partnering, then learning, and then, I think the pain is what got me started. And I think that people should use that pain. I mean, you're not going to get up one day and say, I want to invest in real estate. You got to use that pain. Is it your dad worked too hard and didn't have time for you? Is it you want to travel because you literally didn't book, travel? You don't want to work forever. And I think people, you should use that pain. As far as it,
Andres, quickly on this, because this is good stuff right here. I love this. Talk to me, the 22K investment into yourself. It was just an online course, or it was some kind of coaching program?
Yeah, it was a coaching program.
Was there any value in that for you, or was there? Do you regret it?
Yes, I do, because if I would have put 22 grand in a bad deal, I would have learned more.
Wow.
So the way that it happened was, I'm a very guy that implements stuff right away.
Yep.
So for me, it's safe to say that course wasn't good. The way that they do it is a weekend seminar, free. And then they sell you, they teach you how to max your credit card so you can afford it.
Was this a real estate?
Yeah.
Was it Fortune Builders or what?
No, it was a Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know if they exist, and again, I don't want
anymore. Yeah.
Anyway, so I go there, weekend seminar. Then you got a weekend full of classes in Virginia, and then you get a mentor for 3 days.
Yep.
So the mentor was worth a little bit. The courses was very general. They give you a lot of information. I just felt like there wasn't true professionals teaching it.
Sure.
So I think that's what they were missing. Again, like, I don't want to be controversial here, but like the education system here, I don't think is great, because who is teaching you how to be a good entrepreneur? Is it people that knows how to teach?
Yeah.
Or they are entrepreneurs?
Are you learning in college, like you're learning business from somebody that owns a business, or just reading from a book that talks about business?
Absolutely. I got 3 degrees in college, 3, and management, marketing, and logistics. Okay. And I feel like, I will say, only one teacher had a business, or like was consulting on a business. Work as a consultant. So I think that, I don't know, I have a hard time with people that are educating and they don't know what they're doing.
Oh yeah, 100%. There's a lot out there, especially in the last 5 years or so. Everybody becomes a guru in some form or fashion. So I think living behind it and like preach from what you do, it can be really important and imperative for somebody to actually model.
100%.
So was there anything on your end that you didn't take action or accountability on your side?
When I took the course?
Yeah.
For sure. I mean, I was overwhelmed with the information, but what the information that I was given, now looking back, was not the right for a person that is starting. So for example, they were talking to me a lot about marketing, but I didn't know how to analyze a deal. I didn't know what a good deal is. I didn't know what the terms about real estate. So for me, my mentor, she was a lot of on heavy marketing, but I was not there, and I think she didn't read the room at that time.
Yep.
I think that it taught me a little bit. I mean, it's not. I'm not gonna say it was not.
Sure.
But I think the most important was that it just got me started.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, the reason why you bought into, there's plenty of people that have done it and have succeeded. So it has worked for some people. It just, of course, it doesn't work for everybody. And if whoever is teaching, it isn't communicated properly, a communication issue, then, and everybody learns differently too, right?
Yeah, yeah.
If you're a big picture guy, to see it all so that you can make sense and feel comfortable and confident in the marketing, then that would have helped out.
100%.
But because she read the room wrong and she's like, just focus on this. Then once you get marketing coming in, then we'll teach you how to run numbers and analyze what's a good deal or not.
100%. I mean, there's 3 things that I will recommend. First, obviously, listen to the Brandon Elliott podcast. I mean, it's like free, and it's like, it's so good. It's just like, listen to podcasts. Like it's free. 2, I will read books. And I will read the ones that are more targeted to what you want to do. If you want to, start flipping, then that. And the third, if I would have that 22,000, I would say, hey, Brandon, do you have a deal that I can put 22,000, or that you maybe can use for the down payment, and I can learn from you, or maybe for a flipper. Like, we raise a lot of money, and one of the things that I offer is not only you put money in my deals, but I'm going to teach you, and I'm going to bring you to my deals, and I'm going to show you exactly. So just like offer to someone that is actually doing, that has, experience, and say, hey, can I invest in your deals? And you can teach me. Some people will say no, but some people will say yes. And that will be the best education that you can have, instead of just buying a seminar, in my opinion.
That's good. I like it. So talk to me. The difference between passive and more active income for real estate. Why did you start with both right from the beginning for the last 10 years, or was one heavier than the other? Why do you have both now?
Yeah, I started with the rentals for about 8 years. And in 2025, February 2024, my partner and I decided that it was getting tougher to buy and make the deals work as a rental. Like, at that point, we were buying like 3 to 4 multis a year. So we decided to flip. And
were you guys focusing on the BRRRR strategy for a lot of these properties?
Yeah. Okay. So we were focusing on the BRRRR strategy. Again, long term, I did 2 creative deals, very creative. We can talk about it. Very super creative. And then, I mean, we were buying the traditional way, nothing special, but we were focusing on problems like value add, or maybe problems with tenants in apartments, small buildings that needed attention.
So you get good discounts, you beat out the other competition of people that aren't, ready to jump into that level of problems, if you will.
And then 100%. Yes.
And then you fix the problems, you build the value.
Yeah. And that's what we do on flipping. I mean, our strength, like I said before, our weakness is actually marketing, because we don't do any. And we did it last year. We kind of fell.
Is it a weakness or a strength? It's a unique probability, right?
Yeah.
It's something pretty cool.
Yeah. And I would say one of our strengths is construction. We have a 12 guys right now, a crew, and that crew takes care of mostly flips. And then whenever we have a vacancy in the rental, then we just jump in. But that's our strength, construction, understanding construction. Obviously our cost is way lower, 20-30% than competition.
Yeah.
So we can buy deals when the numbers are more tight. And understanding construction and renovations. That's being our strength.
So you guys really started off doing more of the passive income, but doing the BRRRR strategy, so therefore needing that construction. You guys have always been very talented with the construction, and as the market has changed over the last year and a half, kind of just developed more into that flipping opportunity in and out of deals. And so that's a great switch there, and it makes
and we do
sense.
both.
Yeah,
we still do both, but again, we buy maybe 3 to 4 units a year, and then we flip very actively.
Okay. And then you guys focus on just the residential multifamily, so 4 units and below, even as low as single family. But obviously, talk to me, why the residential multifamily? Why not something bigger and financing wise? Talk to me about that.
Yeah, the bigger stuff don't make sense in our underwriting.
Okay.
So out of the 60 units that we have done very, very well because we have a very good underwriting.
Yep.
And when we apply that to, more bigger stuff, it just doesn't make sense, especially in this higher, rates environment.
Yep.
Again, that doesn't mean that that bigger stuff doesn't work, because I have people that are doing great. Now, the way that we underwrite it just doesn't make sense. We underwrite bigger deals, maybe 10 to 20 a year, and we're talking about 10, 20 units here and there. But I think there has to be something with the energy. So this is something very fascinating. Since we start flipping, less buy and holds opportunity have come. And I think it's because we have put more our attention and energy into flipping.
Yes.
And I think that it's so weird to see things shifting. Now we get
where you basically focus your energy. It's kind of like when you get that new car, and when you get that new car, you're in that car, you start seeing that car everywhere, right?
Yeah. Exactly the same. So we're not opposed to buy bigger stuff. It's just, I think also a factor that a lot of people don't know is that when you buy bigger stuff in Connecticut, especially we are very in an old, housing market, insurance are through the roof. I mean, not like Florida, probably San Diego.
Yeah. California, they just stopped, about 2 years ago. They just stopped. Like it was difficult to get insurance. It was crazy.
It's insane. I mean, my insurance just called me last month and they say, hey, we're not insuring in an LLC anymore. Rentals in LLC. I'm like, I have 60 units with you guys. Like,
what are you talking about?
Well, yeah. So things are shifting, and I think you have to, again. So think about this. So we got rates at still, 6.5 for investors. We have insurance going through the roof. We have, I think, materials, since I'm very active, yes, they're higher than a few years, but not like COVID times.
Yeah,
labor has gone up.
Yep.
So it's like, and in Connecticut, things are still either going up gradually 3 to 5%. Some markets we're seeing 10 to 12. But right now, I mean, things are, pretty overpriced, and so it's hard.
Yeah, people are scared too. They're not taking action. Even those who do qualify, they've been just sitting on the, on the sideline for a while. So it's a weird situation.
Yeah,
right?
It's strange. Yeah, we want to buy more rentals for sure, but it have to. There's two criteria. Number one, either value add something that we can increase the equity, or we can get cash flow from 0 to 6 months. That's one of our rules. If we can cash flow and meet those two, or one of the two, that's great. The problem is people want top dollar with like $800 rent. And it's like,
come on,
when the market is, 13, 1400.
Yeah.
So that
doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
So, with residential multifamily too. So obviously focusing on that because of the market, specifically that location, it pencils out more with underwriting. Also with financing, right? Financing, you can get a little bit better terms and so forth. So yeah, I love that. When it comes down to financing these deals in general, how are you going about it?
The rentals or flips?
Both.
Okay, so rentals, we use a burst strategy. Pretty much most of them. We either put our cash, most of the time we put our cash, renovate, rent, repeat. The flips, we do 3 things. Number one, we raise a lot of money through social media. Last year, within 2 years, we have raised a little over 2 million, which in Connecticut goes a long way, not in San Diego. But the second part is we have a lot of lines of credits from banks, home equity lines of credits too. And then the third one has been hard money. We use maybe 3 out of 10 deals. We use hard money, and it has been a combination. It depends on what the urgency of the deal is. Like we close deals in 7 days because we have the lines of credit, or very rarely we use our own cash, maybe twice a year for flips. And again, it all depends on the situation.
Yeah, and that's how you stay competitive, right? When you have the financing dialed in, when you have opportunities, you can beat out the other 20 other offers. You
Yeah.
get all cash, no contingencies, close in 5, 7 days.
Yes. I
Go
always tell
hard right away on
people,
it.
yeah, Brandon, I always tell people that my advantage is that, and this is how you, when you're flipping houses, this is what you can do to eliminate your competition. Most of the investors, they use hard money loans, right?
Sure.
Most of the flippers. So one of the things that I do is, listen, hard money loans, number one, will need an appraisal most of the time, and number two, the soonest that they can close, for the most part, is 2 weeks. For the most part, 10 days, yes, I've seen it, but for the most part, 2 weeks. So I tell them I will close it literally if title comes in 3 days. I'll close in
Yeah.
3 days.
Yep.
The other
As fast as the title company can go. Yeah.
right. The other companies, for example, I have gotten houses where I have like underground oil tanks, and if you're using hard money, they won't land on that on it unless you inspect it and they make sure that there's no oil leaks.
Wow.
Oh yeah. So I have bought 3 houses last year, and again, it's a very scary. I won't recommend it to new investors, but again, I made money because again I bought cash. If the deal is great, but that tank is leaking, underground tank is leaking, they will not land. No matter how good the deal is, they will not land.
Wow.
So,
That's crazy.
oh yeah, I got a lot of crazy stories too.
Yeah, guys. Also, at the end of the day, getting the finances down is very, very crucial. That's one of the things that got me started into real estate is utilizing the power of 0% interest credit and credit cards, but all types of, forms and related to credit. So if you are looking for funding and wanting to start a business, grow a business, scale a business, take your real estate down and utilize OBM, not OPM, not other people's money, but other banks' money. So you can sleep like a baby. You can check out creditcounselelite.com. That's www.creditcounselelite.com. We'll show you how to get a lot of this.
Wow.
Use it for good debt, not bad debt. Don't be a fool with it. We'll teach you how.
Let me ask you this, and again, you can go as if I'm new to real estate and I'm savvy, but I don't have money, what will be the 3 or the 4 easy steps to get credit to buy real estate? Like what do I start?
For real estate?
Yeah.
Or for just anybody looking to get funding?
No. So I have a deal, but I don't have a funding.
Yep.
What will be the 3 steps using what you teach?
Yeah. Well, what's cool is when you have the deal, right? You have a contract, you have power. You can go to banks, you could go to private money, hard money lenders. You can get the capital if it's a good deal. And it's also if you don't have enough knowledge or education, you can find out from other experts that lend frequently. Once they look at your contract, your deal, and they say, well, the numbers aren't as sexy as you think they are. So that's somebody good to reference with in the beginning. However, when you prioritize not just your FICO score, a lot of people think it's just your FICO score. In fact, there's 45 different metrics on how these banks and lenders are judging you. If you don't understand that, because it's not being taught in school, it's not being taught at the dinner table growing up, unfortunately, doesn't mean it's your fault. It's just, it is your problem. That's what most people need to acknowledge. And so once you understand that it's your problem and if it's meant to be, it's up to you and me type of approach, you'll start figuring out there's 45 different metrics. Once you understand the rules to the game, that's how you can actually start playing with confidence and boldness. You can get up to 90% approval odds. You can get the highest limits and the best terms and conditions.
Good. So good.
Yeah. We have a list of 9,500 banks nationwide as well. We have it broken down state by state in order from top to bottom, which ones are giving out the most funding. And we even have bank connections that help out with your application. So again, check out creditcounselelite.com. Happy to help anybody that comes our way. Andres, going back to contractors, you said that was one of your main talents and special abilities within the last 10 years in real estate for you guys. Give me 1 or 2 things that really set you guys apart when it comes down to your crew and contracting, because I think it is a very common place where a lot of beginning real estate investors make that initial mistake and have a lot of issues, because contractors typically work more with their hands and investors work more with their mind. And like, it seems logical here, but the contract, and miscommunication, right? It's always a human issue.
Yeah. So our strength is obviously we have our team in-house. And when I say our team in-house, carpenters, flooring, minor electric, minor plumbing, we have in-house, and then we subcontract the rest. Now, if people are listening to this, there's two things that I always tell people when they hire contractors. Number one is to have clear expectations.
Yes.
And that's something that people are afraid to because they're new to the game. They just tell the contractor, put that flooring, but they don't have expectations about, I don't want any sagginess in the flooring. I don't want any gaps in the flooring because they're afraid.
Yeah.
Right. And the second thing is, have good contracts. One of the things that you can do is actually use AI, like ask ChatGPT, I need a contract. I'm hiring a contractor. I needed to lay this to be laid down, expectations,
yes,
and all that.
Good.
So like you can use it. And so my contract is the one that when I had a GC, now I'm the GC, but when I had a GC is very thorough. And I never, even though I hired hundreds of contractors, I have never had any problems when I applied these two things, expectations and contracts.
So good. I love that. I think that full communication, being bold, over communicating, like that is so important. Make sure if you are getting several quotes from contractors, make sure it's apples to apples. I know that was a rookie mistake that I did initially. I would have the contractor go in, they would get a scope of work for me, and then I would have another contractor come in. 3 of them later, I would get the quotes back, and I'm like, they're all different because they're all different,
Yeah. Yeah.
It's so funny.
And if you would have come and say, this is what I need to get fixed.
Yep.
And instead of just letting them run the thing, because again, the way that a contractor works, a lot of people they say is, I need to do plumbing, sheetrock, and flooring, for example. So of course they're gonna tell you that the house actually needs more, but it's up to you to say, do I actually need this or not?
Yep.
In rental, especially in rentals, as long as you have a good place, clean, that is painted and have decent flooring, in C, B class neighborhood, you're good.
Sure.
When you're talking about A plus, it's a different story.
Yes.
But now in the flips, I just like people think that they complicate things.
Yeah.
Don't try to reinvent the wheel. One of the things that I do is I take half an hour in every single flip. I check what the comms are, I see what they're using, and I do the same thing.
So good. It's so basic, it's so common sense, but it's so simplified by doing just that. Just look at what other competitors are doing out there to get that similar product.
Yes.
And just point to that and say, do that. And it's so much easier.
Yeah, I have tried to be a little bit more extra on my flips, and that hasn't worked out. Yes, people, when you're doing a flip, you're selling the feeling, when the buyer comes in. So as long as you're selling that, you're gonna have a good offer. Because people are so emotional, man. Like it's just like I gotten when people think, for example, last year, now in this market in Connecticut, if you get 10, 20,000 above asking, you're lucky, right?
Oh yeah. Because
people are stabilizing. Last year I got multiple 40, 50 grand. Why? Not because my house was better, but because I understood what emotions triggers my kind of buyer. And when you understand that, like my kind of buyer, for example, I know how much I make, I know where they live, I know what they want. Like I research so heavily. And when I know that, I just do it. And people, on my Instagram and Facebook, oh, you're so bold painting the house blue. I'm like, watch.
Yeah. That's what they want. That's what my avatar wants. You're reading their mind. Andreas,
what I want.
you're reading my mind too. I was just about to ask you more about like, who is your avatar? Do you know that? And talk about the importance behind it. Obviously, you know it, but I think a lot of investors out there, maybe initially when they're getting started, they don't actually backtrack of what their avatar that they're selling looks like. So therefore, they're just kind of doing their own touch to it. And if you put your own emotional feelings to it, you can pay, make it
Yes.
more complicated than it needs to be versus
Yes.
the avatar that's realistically going to be buying that.
Yes. Let me tell you, I mean, I made so many mistakes, but
Yeah, same here.
for example, a few tips quickly that I can give to the audience is number one, people think that you need different colors in a house. I paint literally one color the whole house.
Yep.
And I paint it flat to hide more imperfections.
Yep.
So let's just start there. I see a lot of flippers painting rooms different colors and all that, because when I see that, it's like you're putting your personal touch.
Yes.
Which if you're a person that very educated and make a lot of money and come from a nice family, but then you're selling houses in a wonky side of town, it won't work.
Yeah.
So
looking all colorful, they might not like color. They might want to make their own color. You put blue, they might like red.
Yes.
Don't get crazy with it. Yeah.
Yes. And most people will paint it anyway.
Yep.
So anyways, and put in the finishing touches, the quality of the cabinets.
Yep.
The quality of the flooring. Like, my God.
Bathrooms and kitchens, do you really focus on making those pop out at all?
Yeah. Kitchens and bathrooms always sell.
Yeah.
But how you're gonna sell them is the question. And this is something very controversial also in the flipping. It's like, should I use Home Depot or Lowe's cabinets, or should I use, other
Custom
vendors?
Yeah.
The truth is that the difference in pricing for the most part is $1,000.
Yep.
So
Sure.
in my opinion, houses that are below 450,000, I put Diamond Now Lowe's cabinets, and they sell quickly. Above 500, I go to my vendor.
Yep.
Why? Because above 500, people noticed.
They
Want plywood cabinets.
Yeah.
They start caring. So, and that $1,000, it's definitely needed at that price point. But again, I see so many houses. They have 350,000. They put very expensive crown molding. I'm like, that was not needed, and you might not make any money. It breaks my heart, truly.
Yeah. It's true though. It's good. And people need to, just like you and I have had many learning curves over the 10 years we've been doing this. Sometimes they need to go through it. Ideally, if they're listening to content like this on this podcast, ideally they're soaking it up from us so that they don't need to go through it themselves.
Absolutely.
Talk to us and share some of your other biggest learning curves that you're like, you could cry,
Yeah. Well, actually, so we did almost 25 flips last year. And when I say almost, it's because we carry 2 for this year.
Yeah.
I lost 107,000 in December.
Whew. Doesn't feel good. That's not what they tell
good.
about on Instagram.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh no. And I'm gonna make sure that people know, because I personally don't have any ego. Even if it still hurts, me and my partner at the time that we lost, we wrote the check. We were laughing because most of this flip will definitely take anybody out of the business.
Oh yeah.
And we had a very good year. So when you start flipping houses, owning rentals, if you have 10 flips or 10 rentals, don't look at it as I have a bad loser. Look at it as the whole picture. Yeah. And we were laughing because this was with the money that we made. I mean, it was substantially, but it wasn't like, oh my God, the whole year, we didn't make anything. Like, we made really good money. So it's just like, see it as a whole picture.
I love that. Talk to me about the creativeness. I know that you've had some different structures and creativity over certain deals in the past. Give me something that the listeners could potentially do on their own, but also I want to hear about one of your most creative.
Yeah, I would say the most creative I did it in my second year investing. So
nice. Yeah.
So I freaking love to tell this story because I didn't know what I was doing and I just did it anyways.
Come on.
So
it always beats.
Yeah. And I was so scared because I was dealing with other people's money. So I had in the tennis business, I met 2 people. They have some money. And then I want to grow, but with my $70,000 a year salary, I'm like, I can buy maybe 1 rental a year.
Yeah.
So the way that I did it, I'm like, how can I make this work? So I found this house for $150,000. We made it a student rental, but I said to them, I found a deal, I renovated it, I manage it, and then you guys buy it. They were like, okay. So there was 3 people, me and 2 others. So each of us put $50,000. But I said, how about if you lend me that money and I pay you whenever I can? No rush. Like I can pay you monthly, yearly, every 10 years. They say, no problem. We don't need that money. We need to get in the game. I'm like, great. In addition, I had a piece of land that because I asked the owner, hey, there's a piece of land here. It's like, oh, it's not buildable. Do you want it? And I'm like, yeah. It's paying $1,400 a year in taxes. I'm like, I wanted it. I'll figure it out.
Yeah.
I'll figure it out what I'm going to do. $1,400 a year. That's it. Yeah. So long story short, we got into the deal. We made it as student rentals. We turned it at 3 bedrooms into 4 bedrooms. It was it was cash flowing. It took a month of renovations. We got the piece of land. I got it approved a year later. I sold that piece of land for $50,000. We split that 3 ways, and that student rental that we have, I paid them like $12,000, and they wanted to get some money, so they gave me a discount. Long story short, they bought my equity, they gave me some money, and it was a win-win for everyone. And until this day, I manage that property for them.
Let's go. Wow. So you were able to build something on it, or just you were able to parcel it off and sell it?
That's a sad story. So I sold it for $50,000. At the time, it was worth $35,000. I'm talking about 3 years ago, 2 to 3 years ago. So the guy the builder bought it from me. He built the house there, and he just sold it for $650,000.
So it was buildable. He was able to take it all on, and
yes, no,
crazy.
I hired an attorney. Cost me $3,000 to go through the zoning process. We went through a variance and all that, and we got it approved as a single family.
Come on.
And I sold it with that certificate. They give you like a diploma, right?
Yep.
And then I sold it, and the guy built it and made a killing.
Yeah. So now what because that was your second year in, very creative. Everybody won.
Yeah,
but
2017,
you can see yourself now of like, if I could get another opportunity like that, I'll
for sure
build it myself.
For sure. I mean, if you can build right now for $2 to $3, even $3 square feet, and you can get a piece of land for $350. Yeah, you can sell it for $650. I mean, we're talking about after commissions, probably like a $240,000, $250,000. So it's like, I'll wait 3 years for that pay.
Yeah. We're doing ground up construction right now on a couple of different properties that we've done the BRRRR strategy on. Oh, and so we've already got our money back. We have a bunch in equity in the property. It's renting out, making great cash flow, but now we're building 3 units on it. And
in California?
Yeah. And it costs $300 a square foot to build, but it's worth like $900 a square foot afterwards, tax free. It's just wild, but it's taken me years to be able to get this permit approved. So it's the long process. And originally I wanted to sell it, but luckily we were able to do the BRRRR strategy and, a bunch of.
So you got your money back. You got some cash flow. You got
tax benefits too. We've done a cost segregation already, but yeah.
Oh my God. And your CapEx and maintenance are nothing because it's brand new.
Yep. It's going to be incredible. So yeah. And that's part of, learning over time, luckily, but been there and done it as well. One of my most creative deals was in my neighborhood. I bought actually 4 different properties in my neighborhood in the past, which was cool. Different location that I lived at, but one of my neighbors wanted to sell, and I was able to lock in a contract for $1 down. And if I would have closed on it, I would have been able to we were going to build 8 units in the back, and it was already a duplex. So it was really wild. That would have been incredible. However, they came into a bunch of money. They didn't want to sell anymore. They were attached. But the good part is I was able to structure the contract well because they kept on extending it. There was consequences if I didn't perform. They would get paid out. But vice versa, there was consequences if they didn't perform and I got paid out. And so I actually got a check for $50,000.
Oh, so they pay you out.
Yeah. And so they're, structuring the agreement is very powerful.
Oh my God. You should talk more about that in the future because
Yeah, man.
people think it's just two ways. It's like, oh, they fell out of the contract. Okay, bye. It's like,
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
You want to make sure that there's consequences and pros and cons on both sides.
Yeah.
At first, of course, they were like, "Oh yeah, if you're just only going to put down $1, there." And I said, on my end, yeah, well, there's definitely consequences if I don't pay. Is that fair enough? And they're like, "Oh yeah, of course, I'll take 20 grand, 50 grand. Yeah, of course."
Yeah. Well, you knew. So the beautiful thing about this, Brandon, is like you knew that you wanted it. Like you really wanted it.
Yeah.
So if they don't perform by any chance, like if they backed out, it's like one clause made you 50,000. It's like that could be a great title also.
Yeah. Yeah, I've talked about it in the past. This was a couple years ago, but really, really cool things that like I knew they're not going to deny that and say, "Oh, they were excited. Oh, 50 grand if you don't perform. Yeah, we'll do that." But because they were so excited for it, when I flip it and say, "Oh, and vice versa, if you guys don't, then it would be 50,000." And then they're like, "Oh, but they already were so excited for it that they said, "Yeah, that does make sense. That's accountability." Okay.
That makes sense.
So
Awesome.
Powerful stuff. Talk to me about, overall these deals in general. How are you really getting these deals without actually marketing? Have you just networked your face off to everybody and their grandmother knows who you guys are, what you represent, how you can perform, and it's a safe bet? They always just bring deals to you, or are you scanning Facebook? Like, what are you doing to get these bandit signs?
Yeah.
How are you doing it?
It's three things. Number one is hunting on the MLS.
Cool.
I have access to the MLS, so I call it hunting, pretty much every day.
Yep.
See what other people are not seeing. Bad photos.
Are you looking at brand new things, or are you looking for old things?
I'm looking for distress.
Okay.
I'm looking for like houses that look like they're gonna fall off.
Yeah.
So that's one. And I'm also looking for bad pictures because I know I can get a discount.
Yep.
If a realtor doesn't take the decency to have good pictures,
They don't know what they're doing.
that means they're not getting good commission. That means that the people just want to get rid of the house. So that's one. Number two is I network through. I go to events sometimes. I comment on Facebook groups. I try to help other people, other investors as well, by recommending contractors or providing value. And then number three is the most important one. I just put the damn offer. I put offers on everything. We do probably like 10 to 20 offers a week, if not more.
I love this. Talk to me for those out there that are brand new, that have, this whisper in their ear negatively thinking, well, I don't want to give a low ball offer, so I just won't submit anything. How do you overcome how would you handle that objection?
If you don't compete, if you don't play, you can compete.
Yeah.
That's the first thing. So if you won't compete if you don't put an offer. If you are if you're seeing the properties, you're the spectators.
Yep.
You will never be the player because again, you don't train, it's as easy as put offers.
What's Wayne Gretzky's quote? It's like you miss 100% of the shots that you don't take. It's so true.
It's so, for me, oh my God, I cannot fathom how people don't put offers. People are so afraid of other people's judgment.
Yep.
When in reality is the other person don't care about, they don't even judging you. That's your own thoughts. When we put an offer, people don't put lowball offers because they're afraid of what the realtor can think about them. But the truth is that the realtor is not thinking about anything. You are thinking that you are dumb and you're not putting a good offer. They're not thinking anything. They get the lowball offer, they just say no, and they move on.
Yeah.
Now, what if they say yes? Or what if they counter? And that's how we have grown. Most of our deals we bought from MLS, I will say 50-50. 50% of MLS, 50% of wholesalers. And people, I got people reaching out through my Instagram. I got a realtor. I flipped a house last year. A realtor reached out to my Instagram and said, I don't want to put this property in the market.
Yep.
Because I want a quick close.
Yeah.
We close in 7 days. I renovated in 2 weeks. I listed with her. It was her own house.
Yes.
She moved out of the country. We sold it. We made money, both. So don't think that, again, it's just about putting yourself out there in social media, number one. And number two, just putting offers. And like, even if it's dumb, like, you never know.
You got to play the numbers game. I love that. The other thing that I would add to that is if you always justify your low ball by, like, if it's $1 million listing and you offer $5 for it, that's extremely low ball, right? It's unfair. It's unrealistic. It's crazy. Most people would say, I can't justify giving that kind of offer. They're going to hate me. They're going to curse me out. You know, did I fall off my rocker? Whatever it may be. If you can justify by saying, well, I'm an investor. I also, this is basically a tear down. It's not worth that because of this. You know, I need to do all these things. It's going to cost this much. I also need to get paid for my time. You know, if you justify why you are submitting this offer and it's realistic, it's not just a toss the low ball out and then say nothing, you know, that can come off like kind of like a jerk.
Yeah.
If you toss it out, but you say, I know you're not going to like this, but this is why. This is, you know, I know you want more, but this is why, and this is as much as I can pay.
So good.
Respectfully. You
so
know?
good. And some people would not understand that because, again, ththey're not contractors. They don't know what the renovation is. They don't understand about holding costs. I'm going to give you a very good tip, something that I started implementing last year. If you want to buy a house in 2026 and the house is worth $400,000 and is listed for $340,000, and you wanted it at $300,000, put an offer for $320,000 with an inspection. So in this case, they wanted $340,000. You are close to the asking price, and then once you get in the contract, there are always things that are gonna come wrong on the inspections. So if the house needs $5,000 to fix the issues, then ask for 10 or 15. What is the worst that could happen? They say no. You go back and think about it if you want it at 320 or not. And like, you don't have to put the lowball offer right away. You can put a higher offer knowing that you're going to get a discount on the back end when inspection comes. And again, a lot of people have hate me for this strategy.
Yeah.
But the truth is that the seller doesn't have to accept my offer.
True. Yeah, they're jumping in and walking in. So it's, at the end of the day, you're going to have more of their control at that point, because if they decide to not do it, it's going to cost them time and money to go back on the market.
Yes.
Yeah.
As a seller, I'm a flipper. People do that to me all the time.
Yeah.
So as a seller, I know they're doing it. As a seller, it's so painful to go back on the market. It's like, and then again, when realtors know that house has been on the market, especially multiple times, they don't want to keep relisting because it's sort of like bad reviews for the house, right? It doesn't look good.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I think there's a lot of value behind it. What's cool too is when you shoot your shot and you say, hey, I know that you think it's worth this. This is what I believe it's worth. And it, you know, if right now, if you're going to curse me out, it's not a good fit now, let me know in a couple months when things change and you get more realistic and closer to my numbers.
Yeah.
Like,
yes.
I've followed up every couple months in the past, and 6 to 9 months later, that same deal, they start coming back to me and I got it 70% of what they originally, and my offer changed as well. And it's like, you can tell now that I was a little bit correct. You're in a real tight position. Now you're going to just offload it to me, you know?
Oh my God. So good. This is so good. It's just like, it only takes you 5 seconds to say, hey, if you change your mind, I will be here.
Yep.
You know,
and then follow up to get in front of them. It's like a mailing campaign. It's, you are that friendly guy constantly checking in to serve their problems, like really help them. And 100%. So I love that.
So good.
Andres, talk to me, wrapping this up. Any final thoughts that you would give to the listeners, and then how can they get a hold of you?
So I am on Instagram and Facebook. My Instagram is Andres, Andres, Bernal, Berna. And then instead of an L, you can put a 1. And then on Facebook, I have my own Andres Bernal. I'm going to start a podcast soon, just like you, Brandon. So we'll definitely chat later on. So I hope that you're tuning in, especially the podcast is going to be only about flipping and rentals.
Oh.
I'm gonna very niche down. So if you want to learn, stay tuned. And also stay tuned to social media, because I'm gonna release a book mid-year about flipping and about how can you flip your first, at least the first 5 houses, from the first, second, third, fourth, fifth, and how you can have systems around there so you can have a good time and be very profitable.
Come on. I love this. That's awesome, man.
Yes.
Well, it was an absolute honor to have you today. Thank you for pouring your heart out to the listeners and to be able to share more about your story with us. Super motivating, super inspiring. And you've been through a lot, but it's just the beginning. You're overcoming things. You're doing some big stuff. So can't wait to see what 2026 has in store for you guys. So continuous blessings your way.
Thank you.
Guys, reach out to Andres. He's awesome. Wealth of knowledge and heart in the right place. If you want to get a hold of me, you can always do so on Instagram. It's Brandon Elliott Investor, or I'm sorry, Investments, Brandon Elliott Investments. It's only been like 10 years, right? Brandon Elliott Investments on IG. Otherwise, our business page on IG is going to be Credit Counsel Elite. Feel free to reach out, DM if you have any questions, funding related. If you're looking for up to 500,000 with rates as low as 0%, getting up to 90% approval odds, repeating it every 6 months per person, and getting the best terms and conditions, highest limits possible, not wasting your damn time, then check out creditcounselelite.com. That's creditcounselelite.com. Happy to jump on a quick call with you, answer any questions you have, and just get a second opinion of where you're at and where you're looking to go. So if you have not already, hit that subscribe button to Ready, Set, Go Real Estate Investing Podcast. What are we doing? What are we doing here? Do that right now. Stop whatever you're doing. Just listen to this, pause this, and hit that subscribe button. You will get the newest notification every single Monday, which is excellent. And then after that, leave that 5-star review after listening to a few of these. Greatly appreciate all the love, all the support. You guys keep sharing it out. Let's get this message out there. Let's impact some lives. Love you guys. Let's make 2026 excellent. And we'll see you guys on the next one. Until next time, God bless. Andres, appreciate you, brother. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So happy to be here.
This has been another episode of Ready, Set, Go Real Estate Investing Podcast, brought to you by Brandon Elliott. For more information, please visit BrandonElliottInvestments.com. Also, please don't forget to like, share, and leave a comment below. Thanks again for joining. Until next time, God bless.